up.
Okay.
So
tell me when to start talking.
You have a challenge.
Cool, we're ready to go.
Okay, ready? So you will disappear from my, what do you call it? Sound, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I will turn my sound off now.
All right, fine. So good afternoon, everybody. This is Chris Bray, commentating from the depths of southwest London. We've got Patrice Desmond from Ireland, who is playing black checkers, and Julia Hayward, who's playing the white checkers. This is a 9-point match. The UK are leading 3-2 after the first round of matches. Let's see what we can see, and I hope to amuse but also instruct as we go through. So 3 of these are going to be forced, and then it's a question of the 4th one. I suspect starting the 5-point is correct. This is going to be very clear for Julia. Yeah, hit and run. So that will even up the bit count. It's quite a fast time limit, this. It's 8 seconds and 1 minute per point, so not going to have a great deal of time. So here I would slot the 4-point, the 5-point, because that's the point you want to make and you're already behind in the race. This is 2-1 for Julia, so preparing to escape through the hole on the 16-point. And this is going to be making the 5-point the 3-point. So slight edge to black, but not now. So it's a magnificent return. 4 and 6. And now, which anchor does she want? She's not far enough behind to play a back game. So it's very likely that she should have come up and made the 3-point there at the very least. Doesn't have the timing for the 1-2 back game. This is not yet a double, but the problem is that black is going to run out of timing. The 2 should be played 13 to 11. That's just a little bit too safe while black has a blotting ball, but what do I know? It would have been hit. So unfortunately, the 4 had to come up there. That double 6 is forced. Now she's got to think, are you going to, you're going to, if you play 7-4, 7-5, you allow white free time. I think you have to split the rear checkers, because what are you going to do next time? It's not unreasonable. So now this is, and the reason for holding the 2 points is rolls like this, where effectively, unfortunately, white has to give a shot. So the question is, should she have kept the 3' and played 13 to 8, 7 to 4? Ooh. So 39 pips ahead, but with 2 blots, gets hit by any 6, 2-4, 3-4. 6 and probably 24 to 23. Okay, double and the take were both correct, I think. Needs to get the 2nd blot, so yeah, the precautionary move of making the 5-point seems reasonable. Double 3, 1, 2, and you can play 3 and 4, leaving the 6 to hit, or could have played 17 to 14 twice, leaving no returns, but less shots. I don't like this only because it gives double 1 in return. It's all right. Still not hitting the 2nd checker, so white is still alive. So that's 1, 2, 1, 4 in return. So that's might as well, yeah. So it gets hit, and now white in severe gammon danger unless you can anchor. So black wants maximum builders for the bar. Now that's an anchor, so likelihood is that white will just about be able to hold a 1 point holding game. The likelihood from here is that white will save the gammon and black will win a single game, but all variations are still possible. So, do you want to be hit on double six is the question mark here. Now you're going to get hit on 6-5 and 6-6, so slightly a bit strange. Right, so double five, this is going to be 3 checkers in, I would suspect. While there are 2 blots in board, you need to take advantage of that. 13 to 8 with the third one, and in seems reasonable. So again, not time to go yet. Make the 5 point or the 4 point, 5 point, because then you've got 2 builders for the 4 point. I think the 1 was misplayed there, just very quickly. So they are playing very quickly. They haven't got a lot of time. 5-1 just comes in. Now white should run with any 6, obviously. He's got, yes. So she should go. Yeah. So now white can never win because she has no home board. So the key there was to keep the very slim winning chances by keeping the board. But now, even if white gets a shot, then it's not going to be a winning shot. That's the difference in these positions. Whoa, that's very bold. That looks like a huge blunder. I thought just 3 off and 5 to 4 would have been correct, and now another shot. So these are totally gratuitous shots that black has given. Now it's just a question of saving the gammon. So white is favourite to save the gammon here. Not she rolls things like 3-1 on a consistent basis. So it's getting a slightly more dangerous. So 8 checkers. So white needs 3 crossovers, black needs 8. So obviously statistically, white is big favourite to save the gammon now. And not quite there yet. So 2-1, 3-1, bad, but that will be the end of the game. So she's on it right. So that was a strangely played game, maybe slight nerves there, but they need to take a little bit more time. They've used only 33 seconds each, and I've always maintained about backgammon, particularly online backgammon, people do not use the time correctly. They have a load of time left at the end, and that is not good. Backgammon is a very complex game, and you need to think. 5-3 is a very awkward roll. Yeah, I would play 23 to 18, 11 to 8. So that's a deflection play, effectively. This is the other option. I don't mind this. This is a mess. Looks like 13 to 8, 11 to 10. Can't see a better ace. Slotting is unnecessarily big. So white has escaped being hit. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at, yeah, 4-3. White has escaped being hit. So the question is, how do you play the 4-3? So you've got 3s, 1s, 6s to hit. Again, not enough time to look at the option here. I think you just play 13 to 9, 10 to 9. White's anchor will keep her in the game for a long, long time. There's a rumour that all 3-point anchor games are takes. It's not quite true, but it's close. That's a magnificent roll for black, and she should make the 2 points. So slight edge to black. now that this looks like you should hit the outfield checker on the 14 point. Yeah. Okay, so that's equalised things somewhat, except Julia has been hit back. And again, round we go. 4 comes in, it's a question of the 2, but it's probably right to hit in the outfield, but hitting on the 4 point is also okay. That will be a close play. Black is doubling, so particularly when leading, how many market losers have you got? So that's quite a bad miss. So now you're going to come in 5 and save the 1 to the midpoint. That double might have been slightly premature, I suspect. I don't know what else you would think about here. You want to make the advanced anchor. Now you're letting white have a free game here. So 1, and the question is, do you point or do you make the 5 point? If you make the 2 point, yeah, quite like this. How many left to play? Sorry, turn to 2, 3 and 1. That was a good play by Julia. So we're going to be hit for her trouble. Shouldn't have any trouble coming in. Famous last words. As soon as I said that, I realised double 6 was obviously going to be thrown. So 1, 2, 3. You can hit on the 4 point. It looks like this should be played relatively aggressively. That's the 3rd, and then 14 to 8 for the last one. Yeah. So we're now back where we were. Julia's got an anchor. 4 makes the point. 3, you have to break the midpoint. But now she has a 5 point block with 3 checkers behind her. This would be nice if she hadn't had to take the checker off the midpoint. So this is going to be 13 to 7, 6 to 4, I think. You could play 10 to 8. It's also okay. 2, and then just drop the 5 down. White has to play. This is not a time to slot because it increases the gammon risk. So run away with the 6-1. What else would you be thinking about here? You're winning the race by 38 pips. I don't understand this play, I'm afraid. You should just be running away. Yeah, this flagged as a blunder, but she's got away with it, and she's rolled a perfect follow-up roll. So out and make the point. Yeah. So in backgammon, sometimes your errors are rewarded. That was the case in this particular position. Now she's going to come in and out, Patrice. And Julie would like to roll 4-1 or 4-2. 6-2, not quite good enough. So now you have to play a 3 point holding game. You can't really afford to play 22 to 16 here because that will whack up the gammon rate too high. So I think this is too big. That just increases gammon danger. You've got to look at how many return shots you're going to get here. And if you're hit, you could be forced in on the ace point, which will not be a good plan. Sometimes you just have to take the medicine. If you could come out and safety the blot on the 13 point, that would be a very different situation. Because sometimes black doesn't get safe. Now, at the moment, she could play 7-4, 6-5, which leaves no shots. Or she can play 16-12, which leaves 2 shots. The computer's actually very much like not leaving any shots at a point when it would be really dangerous to do so. But again, you can still play this safely by making the ace point. But there, you might run out. Now you've allowed white to run out with a 6. So yeah, 3-2. Now she should have been in a position to safety that checker after the last roll, but now 6-2 is good for white. Double 3 is not. You just keep the board. This is no excitement. Could have cleared the 8 points there, but I think this is reasonable. So now, because she made the other points earlier, black's position is somewhat stripped, and she had a danger in rolling some 5s now. Now she's in danger of rolling 4s, but has got away with it. So that's 5 and 2, both checkers in. And again, we're in a situation where the very likely outcome is that black will win a single game. Now black, oh yeah, safety first. There's really no gammon. Close call here between running out, but you could just make the ace point twice. The gammon risk is not huge for white here, so having a perfect board seems reasonable. This pays off to 2-2-2-1. So now white will go with any roll except 1-1, 2-1, and 2-2. Time to go time. Never crash the board when waiting for a shot, because then you don't win. You have to keep the perfect board. Right, 6-1, 4-1, 3-1, but not 3-3. So now white's back in slight gammon danger. And I suspect after the next roll, it will be all over in this particular game. This white roll's very small, so that's the end of that game. It's going to be a single win to Patrice. She will be leading 4-0. So 4-0, you have to start to think about the cube, because your doubling decisions are very much going to be influenced by the score from here on in. So in a short match, 4 points lead is quite a lot. You want to play for a high anchor. You don't want the excitement. She should have hit with that 5-2. That's a standard opening roll. So the 5 here is to hit, and then think about the 1. I would play 21-20, duplicating 3s. Seems reasonable. Oh, not quite a double, but you should always think about these things. That is going to make the opponent's 20 point and her 3 point. So white will inch towards a double here. It's not a double yet. And Patrice was correct to take the anchor here. There's not enough market losing rolls to cube this. You're 13 pips ahead. Now you come out with the other 2. I think you keep the block because you're now 29 pips ahead. Close call. So this is going to be, I suspect that coming out with 2 checkers there was probably equal to making the 5 point. The 5 point is very nice, because one of the reasons for that is she can now, given the score, advance the cube, which she's done, I believe, correctly. 2 point anchors. So as black, you have to ask yourself, how am I going to win from here? The answer is that you're going to build a board, hit a shot, and then contain the hit checker, or white may have trouble coming home. Now, there Julie had the opportunity to make the 4 point, but I think that was okay. So both the double and the take were correct. Now black will just build a board. That's a perfect roll for Julia as white, 4-2, making the prime. This is going to be making the 4 point twice, so to speak. Now you don't want to give up So actually you can wait one roll if you want to, but it gives you an ugly structure. You have to believe that the prime will hold. So the question is, do you play 20 to 13, or do you play 9 to 4, 6 to 4? The trouble is, if you play 9 to 4, 6 4, what are you going to do next time? So this puts off the evil day, but the structure looks weak. But she would have been pointed on. So now, obviously, with that 3-1, that's the correct play. 4-1, so can make the 2 point or the 3 point. Looks right, correct to make the 3 point. You make the points in order. Now you're going to have to go. So that at least there is a weakness in Black's board as that checker flees for home. So you're going to make the 2 point. So you can bring 2 down, but that allows White out into the outfield. You have to take some risk here. So it looks like 13 to 2 is the correct play. You could play 8 to 2, 8 to 3 to avoid paying off to 8s, but then one of the checkers is in the wrong place. So that's certainly the 6. So time, you can't, it'd be nice to duplicate 5s because that's the number that Black needs on the other side of the board, but this pays off to any ace or 5, 6. So this plays with 1 blot, makes double 4 a supreme joker. Would have been hit in all variations, so probably glad to have just the 1 blot. And what a great return hit. So now White is a huge favourite, and if Black doesn't come in, then there are some gammon chances. So that's 1. I'm not sure that staying on the ace point has a great deal of value here because you get pointed on with quite a few numbers. So this is going to be 16 to 10 and 8 to 5. Don't see anything better than that. Obviously Black, by her bold play, has generated more indirect shots. So again, I'm not staying on the 24 point here because you just lose way more gammons by staying. You're hoping against hope for some weird and wonderful structure. 6 is okay. You could hit with a 3. I like this because it's the gammon play and attempts to punish Black for her error last time. 7 to 4 with the 3. Just the 3 probably makes the point. Now, do you come out with the 5? Coming out with the 5, then you come in if that's the case. Double 3 is a good roll, takes checker off. Yeah. So Black needs to make a point, or make her 5 point and then hope for a shot. So this will just be a run around. Well, the 5 is 18 to 13. Given that it's sensible, you might as well make the ace point with the 3. 4 and checker off, yeah. 2 is good, makes the point, ready for the shot that she's hoping to create. Now only 6-4 is bad for Black. 6 for White, sorry. 6-2 is a great roll because it clears the point and gives some valuable spares on the 4 and 5 point. Not time to go yet. You only crossed yourself 1 pip by coming in here. So this is an ugly roll, a really ugly roll. And you're going to play 4. There's only one safe play here, which is 5 to 1, 4 to 1. Yeah. Oh, Black has to go with both checkers, not what she wanted. So now we're going to end up with a single game to White, unless the dice do something truly remarkable. play 4-2 here, I think. Close call. 1, 2, 3, 4. Time to make yourself a cup of tea while this one finishes. Saving the gammon. Could resign, but technically it's still possible for black to win this with a whole series of 2-1s from white. And it will take, that will be the end of that one. So now it's 4-2. So in terms of time used, Julia has used 2.5 minutes for, of her 9, and Patrice has used just under 2 minutes. So it is a fast time limit, this, and it's very difficult in backgammon to make decisions, correct decisions consistently. You never hit twice with 3-2. It's not a huge error, but it is an error. Could come out with a 4 and duplicate 4s, but then the 2 rear checkers aren't linked. Okay, so this will be 5, and then think about the 2. The 2 is probably going to be, should be played 6-4. It's a long way behind. You need to build points. There's a blot-in board, so it's possible that bar 20 just creeping up with the 2 was correct, with 16 pips in it for the race. So this is pick and pass, which is correct. Now, given the strength of white's home board, you have to play 4-3. Anything else is too big. That's a hugely big play, and now Julia should stop and think. She is 19 pips ahead. She has threats, and she also has the better board. She's also trailing in the match. So this looks like, to me, I would double this. Black's in the game forever because she's got an anchor. So it's worth taking your time to think here. And it looks from the analysis as both the double and the drop were incorrect, just because of the lack of market losing rolls. So when you're leading, you don't play 4-1 as it has just been played, because you want games with high anchors and races. By playing 4-1 in the way it was played, you invite blitzes and primes, so that's not what you want when you're leading. So this is fun, 4-3. Now, your opponent's already got an advanced anchor, so this is what's called the German split. But it's probably a little bit big, maybe 24-20, 8-5, or 24-20, 40, 11-8. And that's a very good roll. I think that's going to be better than hitting twice. So now you've got a relatively well-balanced position. There's only 6 pips in the race. Both sides have an advanced anchor. It's hard to see, unfortunately, that 10-3 is probably going to be the right move here. The race is too close to give gratuitous shots, I think. So you just have to hope for something better next time. That is something better for black. Okay, so black has the edge, has a slightly better advanced anchor and a 4-point prime. White has a good 3-point holding game. Double four looks good. So this should be played 13 to 9 and then 10 to 2. I think, sorry, 11 to 7 and then 6 to 2. Yeah. Blocking your opponent's sixes is a very strong play at this particular type of game, because obviously Julia wants to run those checkers on the 22-point away. But now black is ahead in timing, so something's going to have to give here. And again, all 3-point games are takes. As I said earlier, I'm not convinced this is a double, but we will see. The question is, how often are you going to lose your market here? White has got a very good home board. So that. So it's certainly worth. So I don't think that was a double, and I don't think it was a drop. I have got access to XG on my iPad. If I can put it in very quickly, I will do that. So it was no double it was a double, nearly a double blunder to double, but it was even worse to pass, unfortunately. So let's go back to the next game. It's now 5-3. So Patrice is a double gammon away from winning the match. Hello, what's happened here? So assuming that, so it's 4-2-6-4. So double and take, yeah. It was a quite a strong double, despite leading 5-3. The fact that the gammon wins the match perfectly for black allowed her to double there. 2 and 1. I'm afraid this is going to have to be. If there was a 1, you could play 24 to 22, but the fact that there is no 1 makes it really difficult. So here, because she's leading, she can take the 4-point anchor and then hopefully play aggressively to build either the 3-point or the bar point. So 6-3 is an awkward roll. And again, do you want? It's rare to give up the midpoint when you've still got rear checkers. So I think there the 8-2. Anyway, it's too late now. The roll has gone. It's going to be very difficult for white to win this position. Black can now take some risks. Now she needs a builder for the 9-point. So, yeah. Ooh, that's fun. Now you can make the 3-point, but actually constraining white's 6s is probably a good plan here. Now you can come in with 2. So your objective as black here is to make the 3-point while holding on to the bar point. Oh, now the only problem with the way that this has been played is that there's going to be a gap on the 3-point, which is potentially going to generate shots. So that's a very ugly structure. 1, 2. Now the question is, do you come up? And I think the answer is no, because you are a long way behind. The only problem is if you don't come up, what are you going to do next time? Your board is going to crash. So that's yet another very difficult decision. Splitting doesn't look right because it gives a lot of bad numbers, makes a lot of black's bad numbers very good. So the 2 is getting ugly for black, but she should play this, try and clear the point. Yeah. So I think there you had to basically go with the 5-2 because that preserves the board. now if white gets a shot, she's not going to be able to hit. That was a very bad move because black could have cleared her bar point and be bearing off. So I think she must have just missed that. That's what happens in backgammon, sometimes, particularly online. Double 2 is a godsend. I think now that white has no board, you can safely make the 3 point. Is the race close enough to justify hitting? And the 6 here from white would make this very interesting in terms of the bear off. So I would step back, have a look, think about it. So that seems reasonable. This is going to be 4 off and 4 to 2 because you want to stop white running away with 5s. Yeah, that's fair enough. 6-5. So now we're into the realms of yet another single game, unless Julia can throw 3 very quick large doubles. 2 off. Okay, so make it interesting by rolling boxes. Boxes is double 6, just in case anybody doesn't know. There's still a little bit of hope for white here. 1 big double will scare black. 2 off. Still some excitement. Unfortunately, really, Julia's got 1 too many checkers to make this interesting. That's an ugly roll, but it does take a checker off. So she should play 5 to 1, 5 to 3 and off. So that's quite a bit, that's a huge error because now if she rolls a 2, Julia's got a recube. That was a massive blunder. So the cube should come and it should be dropped. No one's going to take this, even though it wins you the match. So again, I think like the 3-1 play earlier, Patrice must have just missed it. Not spotted that a play was available. So the worst errors in backgammon is when you're deliberating between move A and move B, and you choose one of them eventually, never noticing that actually play C was the correct move. And that happens time and time again. Now we're tied at 5-all after that huge blunder by black in the last game, which makes it rather interesting. Now it should have come up with the 4 there to put pressure on all of these lots. So 5-3 will now make the 3 point. White has an early edge. Black has the bar point in compensation. Going to have to run a checker away here because there's really, oh, hello. I suppose that's not unreasonable given the, so now white should probably be concentrating trying to make the 5 point, but alternatively she can run away. No, if you're going to do that, I think you run away with the 4-5 because then the ace that's needed to hit it is an ace that would have made help to make one of the inner board points. So running away with the 4-5 looked right, but now we've spun round again. 4-3 is an absolutely wonderful roll, makes 5 point. That puts huge pressure on black, but replies in kind by making her own 5 point. Now, this is prime versus prime, so I think 13 to 8 here is correct. Yeah. You could split. And it may be that white didn't have time for that rather nice point-making roll, and that the split was correct. So what's happened here? Looks like also, oh, that's a wonderful roll now. Now black's in trouble. She rolls big numbers, and this is a mess. So this is going to be 7 to 5, sorry, 8 to 3, 5 to 2, and then white's going to double. It doesn't matter what she plays, she's going to be doubled and she's going to drop. A gammon here for either player wins the match. This position has huge gammon potential. So can you lose your market? Yes, by rolling any 6, 4, 2 or small doubles. So you have to double this position. I don't think you're too good because you can roll your own bad joker numbers like 4 4, 5 5, 5 4, and so on. So double and drop. So double is correct, and I would be amazed if this was taken. It was taken. What do I know? 6 and keep going. So at this score, that was a truly awful take, I'm afraid. Now you play the 2 there. You want to make the full prime, but you can actually play 8 to 7 here because your 6s are going to be used on the other side to escape the last rear checker. Now you can run away. Now you could actually stay because black's position is so weak. So it's got to come up with a 1. Give herself some chance of trying to win this. Oops. Now you could have played 14 to 8 because the chance of black rolling 1 6 and then winning from there is tiny. So just keep the checkers split in the outfield, I think here. Black's position is so bad that you can nearly slot the 2 point here, but Julia is hoping to make it naturally. So the 6 comes in, and again you could slot the 2 point here because it's a point you want to make. This is also reasonable. Now you're going to have to slot the 2 point. There's very little danger here. Famous last words, obviously. I've said that so many times. But all these tight, there are a couple of very bad. Oh, that's a potential gammon saver. Now, you should not stay with 1 because that's the way to accentuate the gammon danger. Your only hope here is to get off the gammon. This is a very big play, huge play. Now, that's 4, and then you do this, that's fine. Another double 6 would make it interesting. Oh, that looks quite a good roll. This was the problem with black staying with 1 checker. You don't gain because you can't win because you're never going to get a hit. Your only chance is the 2% racing chance, basically. But by doing what she did, Patrice has basically said, well, you can try and gammon me if you like. And if she loses a gammon, she'll be very sorry that she just didn't run. Statistically, she's very likely to save the gammon here, particularly after that. Now Julia will need probably at least 2 doubles to win a gammon. And again, she's got 1 checker too many to make it exciting. Now, if you think about it, if black had raced with that double 6, it would have made it at least interesting from a race perspective. But obviously here, she's just going to lose 2 points. And again, look, double 5. The race would have been really quite close had she made the right move with that double 6. So in this game, the bad moves have been punished, which is always nice to see. So what's your cube strategy at 4 away, 2 away? Well, basically, you double with any sniff of a gammon. 5 and 4, that's just going to mirror on the other side. So what Julia wants is a holding game with no excitement. What Patrice wants is a blitz or a prime against prime. Despite the risk, I think you've got a hit here. Now, hits twice. Got to hit twice. And if Julia doesn't hit back, this will be a cube. 3 and 1. Now you should double this as black because there's some gammon potential. It takes white a long time to become favourite. Basically, you've got to put Humpty Dumpty back together again. So that should have been a double. This is ugly. Probably hitting twice to protect everything else will be the right play here. If you just play 13 to 8, you've got a horrible structure. Ooh, this is huge. It's a great bold attempt, and if I was losing, I might have a go at this. But you've got to double this position as black, and you've probably got to drop it as white. You've got 2 blots. You're 21 pips behind the race. Your opponent outboards you 3 to 1, and it's 4 away, 2 away. So even if it was a take for money, it's certainly not a take at this score. So this again, the right play with 6-4, making the point. Now a much better response this time. Now you're 3 away, 2 away, and the correct doubling strategy is to double early, but also you drop early as well as the receiver of the cube in this position. Now you split at the back here, I think. Yeah, make it. 3 and 2. So hitting looks a bit big when you've already established a small lead in the race. So making the 11 points seems sensible. Julia would love a 4. That's not a 4. So I think you just run away here from 20 to 9. You don't allow the attack by leaving the blot on the point there. This looks to me the right play. Can't run away, so we'll have to bring 2 down, unless you decide to hit with the 5, of course, because white is threatening to do stuff on the other side. That's a great roll. Now you hit and then think about the other 2. Probably make the 4 point. Making the 2 point has 1 less blot, but the structure that you get out of making the 4 point looks good. Or you could just play 13 to 9 twice here, actually. I quite like that. It gives a solid block. This is the bigger play. And obviously you could win an undouble gammon. This gives you a very odd structure. So I would have been making the 9 point there and playing with 1 blot because I'm leading. If I'm trailing, I would make that play. This is all good fun. 1, 2, and then you're going to make the 2 point now, 2. Yeah. So now no cube. 2 is all right, but the 1's awkward. If you hit with the 2, which you're probably going to have to do. Now white should be playing, incidentally, for an undouble gammon here. She can't double because they get the cube straight back, which will kill gammons. That looked like a big play. Got away with it. So you've got to come in on the 3, creep up with the 2, because you don't want another blot, and it duplicates all the hitting numbers anyway. 3 and 2. Now we could be in double tiger country with a double hit here. So the beginner's play is to make the bar point, but that gives white total freedom. Given that she's trailing, I think she has to hit on the 5 point and on the 4 point. I think this is way too passive, because it just gives white free rein to do whatever she wants. So double tiger, something that's really only the bots have introduced in recent years. Now, can you double this? You've got 1s and 5s to hit. It's only 1 pip in the race. So I think you play for an undouble gammon still. So it's not good enough, too good, if you understand me. All right, the cube is coming. Now, it's sometimes, if you're playing someone who's the same standard as you and you know what they'll do or should do, that's one thing. When you're playing an opponent who's made several very significant blunders, I don't mind this double because she may drop. Now, this is the biggest decision of a match, and she still has 5.5 minutes to make that decision. So she should take 2 minutes to do precisely that. And yeah, so the double was incorrect and the drop was also incorrect. You have to take and re-cue because then gammons are out of the equation. So I view that as a technically brilliant double, even if it was, psychologically a brilliant double, even if technically it wasn't a double, because now we've got to the Crawford game. Now here you should make the 4 point. Yeah, that's going to make the 5 point. Right, so you either run away with 6-5, establishing an 18-pip lead in the race, or you reinforce the 8 point twice. Given all you're trying to do is win the game, that was the right play, but unfortunately got hit, so 2 checkers down. But of course there is no cube in this game, and if there is another game, the cube will be pretty much irrelevant in that as well. So now you're going to play 6-4. 2, you should hit and play 6-5 here. This is no time for pusillanimity. So here we play 2 and we play down, double 6. So 1, 2, probably 20-8 because you know making the well. I think you should have played 20-8 there, but you're going to make with the 1 and come down with hello. I think that's just a finger slip there. 1, 2 down. Obviously, even winning a gammon for Patrice here is pretty irrelevant. 1. Ho hum. 2. Now you can hit again. You can make the 5 point and look very odd. This is okay. Got away with that, and now you can make the bar. So the beginnings of a priming game coming from Julia. The 4 checkers on her 4 point are very inefficient, and ideally she'd like to get those in play. 5 and 4. You can play this safely, but black will attack. Probably pointing was too much. Unfortunately for Patrice, she can't attack. Any 4 or 5 she would have attacked. Oh, now we're going to have fun. Double. So this is just going to be a straight make the point and hope. You've got to make the ace point here to give yourself time to try and escape the other checker. Yeah. No, don't like this. You've got to keep the midpoint. Yeah. You need time. Time is everything in backgammon. That's a really ugly roll. You're going to have to come up 2 and slot the ace point, I think. Hello. Oh, that was all right. Now you're going to get hit, and you're going to need a 3 to make it interesting. So you can come in, you can come out. Yeah, I think you probably come out with the. Now you've got to hit again, I think, because you're going to get hit back. There's no way that you are going to get home from here without taking some risks, and losing a gammon is irrelevant. But giving yourself time to escape is crucial. So the 3 was great. Now you've got to play 4-3. And that cuts down on the return shots, believe it or not. Yeah, well played. We like that. That was the right play, but unfortunately for white, black has found an absolutely great entering roll. Now you can switch here, which is reasonable. Now that's a good entering roll for white. So the question is, was the switch any better? Now you can point. You can run away. That's a 5-4 is a great roll. So winning a gammon is pretty irrelevant. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 makes 4 point. No, not too much argument here. So if black doesn't roll a 4 for about 10 minutes, Julia will look good. But otherwise, if black manages to escape that checker, so that's a 4, which is crucial. So now she wants to hit the third checker because sometimes in this situation you win a backgammon. So she should save a 6, which is correct. Now you want a 3, not that 3. That's not unreasonable. Now, do you run the risk of crashing your board? Probably not. You come in with a 2, I think, because then double 6 plays well next time. Because if you do this, then double 6 leaves a shot next time. So that was a small error. If you can play double 6 safely, you can play anything in the barrel. So 10 to 5, 7 to 3. Okay. Ooh, a little bit of a weakness. Not yet a worry, but don't roll the same number next time. Check her off. So if black wins a gammon, then she will take away white's free drop in the next game. Otherwise, it's pretty irrelevant, and that means that she won't win a gammon. So Julia, playing white, will have a free drop if she so wishes, if she doesn't win the opening roll. We'll just let this game finish, and then we are going to be at double match point. So black has opened with a 4-2, making the point. Whatever Julia plays, Patrice should double and Julia should drop. And drop. So that's 8 all. Obviously black has the advantage. So now we're at true double match point. Now the correct play with 4-1 here is to hit 8 to 4 and split 24 to 23. So this is a passive response. So you're going to hit with a 1 and play, 13 to 8, 6 to 5 looks right. So in, hit, think. 3. So do you want to hold the 2-point anchor, or do you want to take this moment to split? And I think splitting is correct. 2 makes the 5-point, but then she's probably going, so you've got 2 choices here. You can make the priming play by making 6 to 5 and 8 to 7 twice. So whatever you do, you're going to do this. And I think because of the tempo, you need to do this. You need to hit. So that was the right play. Down with the 4. Now, this is all about tempo. If Julia can attack, well, 2-1 is a good roll, even though it does nothing hugely aggressive. Now she's got a priming game plan option. Looks like it's going to play itself. You come out with a 6 and down with a 4. That looks very wrong. So now you play with this. So, that's taking advantage of black's last play by putting pressure on the blot on the outside. So that was a really good play. 6-3, you're probably going to have to hit. and play 13 to 10. That's not a good time to fan. 5 is 5. Probably going to make her opponent's 3 point. Right, so now Julia has entered, and she has slightly the better structure, but not now. That 6-3 is a really good roll. Julia's best roll here is either 4-3 or 4-4. So now you don't put checkers out of play because you want them to potentially make the 5 point. So you could make the ace point here, but then constraining a checker later is difficult. So actually, the fact that you keep the midpoint is probably more important. So making the ace point looks like it was the right play. So here, 4-3, you're going to play 2 down, I think. Now 4 and something is required. Not 2 and 1, but now you can threaten to make the 5 point by playing 7 to 6 and 13 to 11. No, don't put that checker out of play. How dare you? All right. So double match point, all your checkers have to work for you. You cannot win the game by cube action. Gammons are irrelevant. That doesn't look right either. So now at least Julia gets to make the, that's not a bad, sorry, the broken prime is quite nice here. So if Julia could roll a 4, that would be really useful. Here I think she's going to have to do exactly what she's done. And now black has to go with the 6. Going to come in with a 1. 4-1 is a cracking roll. Sorry, a very good roll. Doesn't crack the prime. So you've got to put your opponent on the bar. Well, he's certainly going to hit with the 1 and then think about the 4. So this is an attempt to escape. So it's really, trouble is with this play, you need a 4 very quickly, but equally well, you're compensated by the fact that your opponent is on the bar. So unfortunately, that play did not come off. If she rolls a 4 now, she'll be kicking herself, but let's see what happens. She did roll a 4 and she stayed out. So unfortunately, that play has backfired. Still refusing to come in with a 1. You can duplicate the 5s that are required to hit here. Now 1, now you're probably going to have to slot the 5 point. No. You can't afford, as I said before, to put checkers out of play. Backgammon doesn't work like that. So now you have to do this and this. So again, you can't afford to put checkers out of play. Black's running into a little bit of trouble here. Double 6 is not good. Unfortunately, that's going to let black escape next time. Double 5 would have been much better. So now you're going to have to slot the 5 point and play 7 to 1. And unfortunately for Julia, Patrice has escaped. The 5 is quite good. Now slot the 5 point. Again, you've got to start making the points you want to make. Don't burn a checker with 4 to 2. That's the correct plan. And this is going to be a shot. 6-5. Now you just repeat the 5-2 and you think everything's great in the world. 1, 2. Well, there's still shots to be had here. No 6, so safety is the 2. Now, a 4-3 is a really great roll because she gets to keep her board. This is not difficult. To clear the point, obviously. Clear from the bar. I don't know what else you would be thinking about here. Yeah. So The question is, how early will black leave a shot? And the answer is immediately. But it's been missed. So that was potentially a game and match winning shot that was just been missed by Julia. So now she needs to get another shot fairly quickly. Ideally, she'd something like 4-1 here so she can keep the anchor, but no, she has to go with the 6. You can't kill checkers because you will never win. So here's the shot. And this is last chance saloon. So white needs an ace. Doesn't roll it, and that, ladies and gentlemen, will be the end of the match and win to Ireland, barring something truly remarkable happening. So thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. As ever, with any backgammon game, there are instructive examples, and if you review the game and go through the match, then you can improve your game by understanding where both players went wrong. The key for the 2 players involved is to go through the match and understand where they went wrong. So thank you for listening.
Unlucky, Julia.
Yeah, some excitement there.
Julia, do you want the scores?
Yep, please.
I won 9-2.
Yeah.
Dorothy lost.
Yeah.
9-6.
Yeah.
I didn't put speakers on.
I don't have other scores.
I won. That's Becca. I won 9-8.
I won 9-0.
9. Okay, so right. All right, so it's 3 to us this time. Yeah, 6-4 in total. Thank you ever so much, Chris. You're muted. You're muted.
Yeah, sorry, some good learning points in there. I need to review the match.
Yeah,
So does that make it 5-all?
it makes it 6-4 to the